Hi, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another video. This is a paid request for Manuel. Thank you so much for that. And for those interested in requesting pretty much any type of videos, topics, reactions, commentaries, reviews, re-reviews, randomness out of blueness, wherever it may be, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. And Manuel wanted me to do a commentary on the more theatrical cut of Hard Target. I had done a commentary, but it was on my longer fan cut of the film, which I'll get to that later, but never did one on the released cut. Now technically, for those who have interests of requesting anything, whether by PayPal, Patreon, both links down below in the info box, I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much. Number two, on Blu-ray when it came out, there's the theatrical cut, but then on the Blu-ray there is the international cut. And anywhere that you can find a Blu-ray, that's the cut that's going to be featured. And that's the cut I'm watching, because I think most people who do have this film, who do get this film, would get the Blu-ray, or have the film on Blu-ray, or you should get it on Blu-ray, because it is a few minutes longer. It doesn't have nearly everything from the Workprint, which is what I watch. I watch my fan cut, which is mostly the Workprint, and then some additional footage from the theatrical meshed together. So I just watch that all the time. But I did this cut, and they never announced it on Blu-ray that it was that cut. It just, for some reason, they just had that on the Blu-ray in the U.S., everywhere else, and then people watch it go, wait a minute, this is a few minutes longer. Okay, nice welcome surprise. No advertisement on it about that being it, but yeah, if you get the film on Blu-ray anywhere, it's going to be a cut that's a few minutes longer. It doesn't have nearly all the stuff from the Workprint, sadly, but at least it's a little bit better than theatrical. But anyway, this is the end of this. It's like 2 minutes in. I have a pause at the beginning. 3, 2, 1, pressing play. And for syncing, we have the Universal logo. This came out in 1993, a great year for movies, one of my favorite years, because you had Cliffhanger, as well as this movie. You had Demolition Man, you had Last Action Hero, of course Jurassic Park, like a lot of fun movies. We fade out, and then we get Universal Pictures Presents, and it fades out now for syncing. But yeah, this is without a doubt one of my favorite films ever. It's just my kind of movie. I love the way John Woo directed it. I love Jean-Claude Van Damme. I'm a big fan of his early work especially, but even some of his direct-to-video films I'm a fan of. I love the action. I love the story works for me. Simple but effective. The villain, Lance Henriksen's a great villain. Even this stuff, like the POV, get into the shoes of this guy, feeling as lost as he is, and then coming up, we're going to have this really cool shot of the arrow whizzing by. It's a nice visual punch. Oh, what's that? Oh, shit. And the guy being hunted with the beard, this is the writer, Chuck Pfarrer. Sorry, not sure how to pronounce his last name, but yeah, this guy being hunted is the writer of the film. So the writer of the film is the man being hunted. Now this writer, Chuck, he plays the character Douglas Bender. He's the father of Yancy Butler's character, because she's looking for her father. She finds out her father's been homeless, then finds out, thanks to Van Damme and others, that he was hunted for sport in the streets of New Orleans. But yeah, this guy, in the Workprint, this stuff's a little bit extended. There's a little bit more slow motion involved. He also wrote Navy SEALs. He was one of the writers on Darkman. And maybe he was recommended, or there was some kind of recommendation by Sam Raimi, because Sam Raimi was a producer of this film. One of the reasons he came on as producers, the studio Universal were not really sure if John Woo could make an American film, and they're like, well, if he doesn't do it, you come and direct it, and then Sam Raimi's like, what are you talking about? It's John Woo. So pretty much Sam Raimi just stayed behind the scenes and let John Woo do his thing. There's the man, Lance Henriksen. Lance Henriksen, wonderful actor from Aliens as Bishop, The Terminator, Near Dark, among many others. It's a bad hit there. I love John Woo's use of slow-mo. He knows how to do that and do that well and effectively. And even the way these arrows are done, you have a string, you do this, and you make the arrow go as fast as fucking possible. Nowadays it'd just be a CGI arrow. Now this is stuff coming up that was not in the theatrical cut. It was nice that they put this back in. Everything here with the gasoline, rolling down the hill, throwing it over, blowing some of themselves up, showing that this guy was trained, this guy was in the military, he had some experience, so he wasn't just a total victim. That gas can, that was not in the theatrical cut at all. It just went into him jumping here, explosion, he lands there, so this whole thing, we're rolling down the gas can, throwing it, they're shooting, blowing up, killing a few bad guys. I don't know why that was cut out. But the MPA was a terrible bit of business in this time period. They had to go back time and time again because, well, if we release it this way, it's NC-17. If you watch the Workprint, there's nothing in an NC-17. This would get an R rating just like that nowadays. Hell, Rambo 4 is gorier than this, and it got rated R. I mean, Deadpool films, you just say is gorier than this, and it got rated R. As in, you see heads cut off. Nice shot here with the... There you go. He didn't quite make it. But the MPAA were just ridiculous in this early days. Nowadays, you don't hear about the MPA. Either they pulled off, or they just don't care anymore, or something else entirely. But back then, even before this, other action films, Predator 2 got cut down, because originally that had an NC-17. Cliffhanger was cut down, because originally that had an NC-17. There's more bloody bullet hits. Of course, they did that a lot with horror films. Later Friday the 13th films, like Part 7, The New Blood, was completely edited out. And that was 1988. Especially like 86 to like 94, the MPA just went buck wild with that. And it's too bad. Again, if they left them alone, it would have gotten an R rating perfectly fine. And we're going to be introduced to Yancy Butler here, which she would be in a few other stuff. She was in this TV show Man and Machine. She was in another TV show, I forget what it was called. But she was been in movies like Drop Zone with Wesley Snipes. She was in this film Striking Range with Lou Diamond Phillips and martial artist Jeff Speakman was in it for a little bit. But anytime I think of Yancy Butler, I always think of this. But yeah, this was the first American film directed by John Woo. Now, before this, he had done The Killer, Bullet in the Head, both good movies, especially Bullet in the Head. If you've never seen that film, I highly recommend it. And right before this was Hard Boiled. That was 92. And that's a great movie. And so people like Van Damme said, hey, I want to work with this guy. Now, John Woo, when he got the script for this, at first the talks were with Kurt Russell. Like, oh, it'd be cool if Kurt Russell was the star of this. But Kurt Russell, he was busy. I mean, there was like Backdraft and Tombstone. Like, there's a lot of movies around this time he was doing. He was, for like next 5 years, he'd be very busy. Because, yeah, Unlawful Entry, Backdraft, like I said, like Tombstone, a lot of other movies coming out around this time. So you got with Jean-Claude Van Damme, who was a rising star. And this is my favorite John Woo film, especially the my fan cut, the Workprint and the theatrical mixed together. And see, in the Workprint, there's a lot more to his transition. There's a lot more dialogue between her and this lady, and you get more of the outskirt of this homeless place. It was a lot more establishing shots, given the layout, given the feel of what was going on, and this whole location that we're at. We saw a lot more of it. And there's something deleted here where Yancey Butler would say, wait a minute. Wait, you're saying my father was homeless? And they cut that out. I do like Grant Revell's score. Almost like a Wild West, a little bit of quality to it. I always have Chance Boudreaux. I always wish I could do like an action figure of Chance Boudreaux, either like with the shotgun or the two guns or something. I just could never. They didn't make one. Now, for some reason, in this the finished product, Van Damme's voice. It's Van Damme's voice, but it's. If you listen to the Workprint version, the voice is much more natural. It's going out a bit more natural, and I think he sounds better. Now there's some scenes he sounds the same, but like some scenes it's like they made him redub his own voice, and I don't know why. It's fine in the release cut, but like I said, in the Workprint cut, that's one reason I like watching that more. His voice just sounds more natural. And I don't know why they made him do that. Now, you know he's badass. He's got a mullet. And a lot of people make fun of mullets. I'm like, I wish I had a mullet. Rambo had a mullet. Kurt Russell had a mullet in Big Trouble in Little China. Like, the badasses have mullets. I'll take the Billy Ray Cyrus mullet. And then John Woo, you could tell he really wanted to have a lot of visual style. Even simple bit of this, using the reflection to know what these bad guys are planning. And when the film came out, it did decent business. It was I think it was number 2 at the box office. That was around the time The Fugitive came out. And, you know, it made a decent amount of money. It wasn't like $100 million blockbuster, sadly, but this is when Van Damme was rising the ranks. I'll get to that in a minute because we're getting to showcasing Van Damme's bit of business, what he can do. You don't want to do that. You don't hit ladies. And in the Workprint, the voices of these people are different too. Like the voices of these bad guys are different. So these voices are redubbed. They're dubbed by different people. But it says, being a Van Damme fan, growing up with Bloodsport, Kickboxer, Cyborg, Universal Soldier, that I see this and yeah, this is fucking badass. You get your Pete stick and your boyfriend and find a bus to catch. Yeah, that voice, this guy's funny. That voice is very different in the Workprint. And yeah, Grant Revell did a great job. Bam! Wham! Thank you, ma'am. You don't come at me? Nope, I'm going to do sweep the leg. I watch Karate Kid. You don't come at me? Say hi to your friend. Boom. Get the fuck down. No, keep this bottle. In fact, kiss this pole. Boom. Kiss the horse. Yeah, you come on, motherfucker. Sweep the leg, work once. Boom! And the slow motion is great because you can see it's Van Damme doing it. It's Van Damme doing these moves. Because it's slow motion, you can't copy. You can't double. It's a lot harder to double someone when you're using slow-mo. So you see Van Damme doing this. I love that type of kick. Using the guy's own force against him to crash his ass right through that fucking window. Oh, yeah. Oh, shit. Wait a minute. I was trying to turn it up and I fucked up, so I apologize. So, pause where you're at. I apologize. Okay. pause it at 12 minutes and 25 seconds. 12 minutes, 25 seconds. I apologize. I was trying to turn it up, and I fucked up, and I hit the wrong button. So 12 minutes, 25 seconds paused. He's about ready to break this motherfucker's arm. 3, 2, 1, pressing play. Grab it. And go to sleep. Yeah, go to sleep, bitch. It used to be a nice part of town. Your wallet. Not yet. Wallet. I like his accent. I mean, Van Damme is a guy, like I said, I grew up with. And now he's walking away. Badass in slow motion. Again, John Woo, one of my favorite action directors. Going off to the distance. And we're fading out to the American flag. I think in the Workprint there's a little bit more of this, a little bit more slow motion of showcasing these cops on strike. Which is also probably to tell people why these bad guys are able to hunt these people. And like, where are the cops? Where are the police? Well, they're on strike. A lot of these cops are on strike. Not all of them, but a lot of them. So there's not as much police as maybe there would be normally. Now we have this actress coming up who was actually in Candyman, the original Candyman. She was the friend of Virginia Madsen's character who Candyman gets killed, and Candyman kills. Candyman kills her, and then it gets blamed on Virginia Madsen's character. But yeah, I grew up with Jean-Claude Van Damme films quite a bit. Back in the day, I would watch films like Bloodsport. I had the Universal Soldier VHS tape. I had a lot of the films taped on a VHS, 2, 3, maybe even 4 at a time. And my favorites were like Bloodsport, Universal Soldier. I love Double Impact. Lionheart is great. I would watch, each Van Damme comes out, watch it on video, and this just stuck with me. The whole being hunted down for sport. I think for me, that was the first time I had seen that kind of story. I know there's been many stories like that made back in way throughout the years. The Naked Prey, which I saw later on in life and enjoyed. But that was a much earlier man being hunted type of film. Even after this, you had films like Judgment Night with Emilio Estevez, Cuba Gooding Jr., Dennis Leary, directed by Stephen Hopkins, who did Predator 2. Judgment Night is a great movie. I don't know, I think it's just that primal idea of being hunted, and the hunted becomes the hunter. You get that satisfaction. You can almost like put your mind in that person's position. What would you do? What would you not do? And oh yeah, these people don't hunt this poor person. Well, when he gets the revenge back, it's like, yeah, you're that satisfaction angle. And Van Damme's career, I mean, granted, at this time, Steven Seagal and him were rivals, and Steven Seagal's movies were making a little bit more money than him. Like, you look at like a Marked for Death or Hard to Kill, they made a little bit more money compared to Lionheart. But Van Damme's going up the ranks. Bloodsport helped catapult him, as well as Kickboxer, and then you get into the 90s, Lionheart, Double Impact. Then you have Universal Soldier with Carrico, and that did a decent amount of business worldwide. And then Universal took those and said, let's give him a deal. And then Van Damme got a deal with Universal. Big studio. Like I said, this film did well. Again, it wasn't a blockbuster, Sally, but it did well. Then he did Time Cop, which I think is the film that best performed for him box office wise, especially worldwide. But then after that, he had Street Fighter. He had Sudden Death. Sudden Death did not do well at all. Street Fighter, well, in the US it didn't do well. Maybe it did some business overseas. But it was Now looked, it wasn't well liked by fans, wasn't well liked by critics. I didn't like it. If I watched Street Fighter the movie now, I'd be like, oh, okay, you know, there's so much worse things that have come out. You've kind of risen up a little bit, but that's not the Street Fighter movie I wanted. But maybe you could look at it as like a goofy cartoon. But that's not the Street Fighter movie I wanted with Van Damme. I wanted more blood sport. That's just my opinion on it. But yeah, sadly, you know, Sudden Death, good movie, but it didn't do well. And the one thing about Sudden Death, which is the die hard in a hockey rink, I never understood why so many of the fight scenes, not all, but a lot of the fight scenes, there's a lot of doubles for Van Damme. Like, you watch those scenes again, there's up close shots of him, but a lot of the wider shots of the fight scenes, it's a double, not Van Damme. I can understand a dangerous stunt, but I don't know why I don't know why. And this is also the time of drug usage, heavier drug usage, which affected with his ego and listened to the wrong people. And so, you know, these films like Sudden Death and even Street Fighter, The Quest, which he directed, that didn't do well at all. The Quest was an embarrassment because he directed it, he starred in it, people didn't think he did a good job, and it bombed badly. And then he wanted the Jim Carrey deal, $20 million per picture, which to me was preposterous. I'm sorry, it was. And I'm a big Van Damme fan, but he didn't deserve $20 million a picture because his films were not making money. The Quest flopped. Sudden Death flopped. Even this film only made like, I don't even think it made 40 million in the U.S. I think it made like between 30 and 35. Compared to the budget, that's good. But if your movie only made 35 million in the U.S., and even Time Cop, it made 100 million worldwide. But Jim Carrey, his films were making over 100 million in the U.S. alone. There's a big difference. But it was drugs and ego, and Universal said bye-bye. Again, John Woo knew how to show his hero in such badass moments. The slow motion, the outfit. Just the best way to put it, the cool factor. I thought it was cute that he doesn't know how to drive. Just a little tidbit to the character. I mean, it's a little bit of subtle humor, but at the same time brings a little bit of character. Chance Boudreaux. What kind of name is Chance? Because my mama took one. Well, we're not there yet, but... Not like a bug. Bug. Natasha. Oh, Natasha. What kind of name is Chance? Well, my mama took one. You know. I can't help it. I've seen this film multiple times. I've seen this film at least 30, 35 times at least. But yeah, after those films were bombing and Universal said goodbye, then he worked a bit with Sony. And that's where he did films like Double Team, Knock Off, and those didn't do well. Universal Soldiers Return, that was a complete bomb, although I enjoy the film. And then that's when you started seeing these direct-to-video stuff. You know, I enjoy The Order. I enjoy The Shepherd Border Patrol. I enjoy Wake of Death, Until Death, Replicant, In Hell. I think he's done a lot of good direct-to-video films. Sadly, the past 10 years haven't been much, but you just say that for most of the action heroes, the past 10 years haven't been much. I mean, the last Van Damme film I truly enjoyed was Six Bullets. That was like 2012. And I did enjoy the John Don Van Johnson TV show. But films like Pound of Flesh, that submarine film Blackwater I think he did with Dolph Lundgren, The Last Mercenary, it's just really not, just, in my opinion, lame films. So I'm a big Van Damme fan, and I know he mentioned recently he wants to do one last final action film and then retire. Maybe that's for the best, and just relax and enjoy life. I know they did a special edition of this, which I don't have. I think there's a Blu-ray. I haven't gotten it. There's there's a 4K with a Blu-ray. I don't have a 4K, but I think you could buy a Blu-ray separately. I don't have that. I have the older Blu-ray. The new one, I guess, has better picture quality and has some interviews. Nancy Butler's interviewed, Lance Henriksen's interviewed, John Woo's interviewed. I think someone else who worked on the production. No Jean-Claude Van Damme interview. But you don't really hear Van Damme talk about Hard Target. I don't know why. I have a safety feeling he's not a fan of the film. Because he was willing to talk about Lionheart. He was willing to talk about Double Impact on the Blu-rays from MVD. So he's willing to do interviews. But I don't know, I mean, I wouldn't know why. I mean, I know there was talks of issues behind the scenes. I know Arnold Vosloo, who would later be in The Mummy, as The Mummy, he did not like Van Damme. He said Van Damme was always on his phone all the time. John Woo, he's like, well, you know, he was professional, but at the same time, he was also on his phone a lot, making deals and such. And there's a guy who's very adamant about himself, his career, his look. Of course, a lot of stories about the editing process where, like, there was a cut that Van Damme wanted edited because there was too much Lance Henriksen and not enough him. Then you had the cuts for the MPAA. Yeah, I don't know all the intricate details of it. Like I said, I like this visual storytelling by John Woo. Like the review on Vosloo's character, and then the up close of Van Damme's eyes, and here she don't find out that they found her father's body. You have to work smarter, not harder. Again, that's another difference between, like, the Workprint. His voice sounds a bit more natural. Well, this is, I am trying to be for Batman. And like I said, in the Workprint, there's extensions here and there, and during certain sequences, like certain little bits here and there that flourish the scenes a bit more. Not all the scenes of the Workprint were great. When Lance Henriksen's playing the piano, it cuts to shots of animals getting killed as, I guess, like he's watching on TV or something. That didn't need to be part of it. I'm glad that was cut out. They tried to go a little bit further in the love story between Van Damme and Nancy Butler, where there's a bit where they talk and you get the idea Nancy Butler's going to stay the night with Van Damme. But there's also, like, later on, this police officer is walking down a hallway in slow motion, and then this is like before she approaches the coroner, calling him on his bullshit. It's like this wide shot showing the room, and there's a bit more of this visual aesthetic that John Woo put into it. Now, like I said, Sam Raimi, I always forget Sam Raimi produced this movie. I always forget Sam Raimi, because Sam Raimi had to deal with Universal at the time. Just Sam, he did Darkman, which did decent business, and then he had to deal with Universal to do Army of Darkness, and that was, I mean, that came out in '92. I don't know how far along that was when this was starting production. And again, they said, well, Sam, we've like working with this guy. You produce this. And again, the studios thought, oh, who's this John Woo guy? He doesn't speak English. And Sam Raimi was like, it's John Woo. He'll do fine. And then Sam Raimi not only produced this, but produced Time Cop. That would have been interesting if Sam Raimi directed a film with Jean-Claude Van Damme. That would have been very cool, but Why do I have a feeling if there was any possibilities Van Damme screwed it up because of his drug usage and ego. Now, of course, in the Workprint, you did see more of this ear being cut. I know some people thought, it looked fake. I had no issues with the way it looked in the Workprint. Just, it's a piece of ear, the way it's cut. I think it looked pretty fine to me. Just with that sharper knife, that ear's going to be cut. Because that's just skin and flab, not bone, so it would be cut easily anyway. So I thought it looked good. But yeah, the only way you can see that is in the Workprint. And the Workprint is lower quality, but I actually like the way the Workprint looks. Maybe I've gotten used to it, but it has like blues and yellows that give a bit atmosphere to it. So now I actually prefer watching the Workprint. And also the music, it doesn't have Grand Revel score, but not all the time, but a lot of Workprints, they'll put scores from other movies. Oh, here you get the haymaker from Lance. Boom! Yeah, in the Workprint, I think you see a little bit more of the blood spit from the guy's mouth. Here you see it's truncated a little bit. There's a bit more slow-mo, and the blood flying out of his mouth. Yes? No? Randall, I come back here again. I cut me a steak. See, you have a badass hero, you have great bad guys that are just evil. And they're not over the top, they're not hammy, but they're just evil, and they love what they do. And you don't have that in movies today. You don't have a lot of villains that you just go, oh, I hate them. They did them, man. They need to, Nowadays, it's, oh, the hero we have to feel sorry for, and there's a backstory. He was beaten when he was a child, or, people turned on him, and he was ostracized, and his fucking panties are wet, and his pussy hurts, and you can't have bad guys, or they're just forgettable and blah, and have no charisma, no intimidation, and no vileness. They're just kind of in one ear out the other, and that's because you're not hiring the right actors. I think in this scene, I always thought there's a bit of editing weirdness to it. Only because, not weirdness as in bad, but you see Lance flipping through this folder. This setting, this location, makes me think this was supposed to be later in the film. Not the Van Damme part, but this bit with these two talking. Actually, let me put it this way. I keep thinking that... No, this is a better way to put it. Later on, there's a piece where Lance is playing the piano. And then he talks to a guy. And then the guy leaves. He's going to be the new recruit. I think that scene was supposed to be before this originally. Because Lance is wearing the same clothes. Arnold Vosloo is wearing the same clothes. And they're playing the piano. They sit down. They tell the guy to leave. I think after that, then you had this scene with Lance looking at the folder. And then going, yeah, send some guys over. So I think in like the original idea of the edit, it's not in the Workprint, but I think the original idea was the idea Lance playing the piano was supposed to come before. Because when you look at it later, it's like, 10 minutes later, it's the same clothes, same outfit, same everything. I don't know why, maybe I'm just losing it, but this is where Van Damme's trying to find the other dog tag. By the way, the writer, not only did he write the film Navy SEALs, among others like Darkman, he was one of the writers, but he was an actual Navy SEAL. Like, he was in the Navy SEALs. But I forgot what I was talking about. Talking about Van Damme, talking about Lance Henriksen, who's a great actor. nice shot of the eyeball through the piece of metal. God, now I'm trying to remember what the hell I was talking about. I went on like 10 different tangents. We tried to take his weapons away. And that's why I'm going to punch you in the nuts. Pull her titties north. Nowadays, you can't have bad guys talk like that, even though they are bad guys. It's like, no, they're too mean. They're too sexist. It's a bad guy. It's a scumbag. So yeah, he would say pull her titties north. Well, that's just the director showing his, sexism, because the way he writes these characters. No, he's writing a character who's supposed to be a piece of shit. Sorry, now I'm trying to think of what the hell I was talking about before, but a lot of times I'm just saddened because I look at this film and I get it. Things change. I get it. People like different things. But I'm so tired of all this superhero stuff. I'm so tired. I miss movies like this. You could chalk it up to my own nostalgia. But I miss movies like Aliens. I miss movies like Hard Target and Con Air and Out for Justice and Showdown Little Tokyo and Commando, and I miss stuff like that. And you get some stuff like the John Wick films and so forth, but just not that often. I hate them doctors. Yeah, I think it was around this time in the Workprint. To see, you even have an establishing shot of Lance Henriksen's place, and then this sort of showcase of this is Lance's room, this is his piano, this is who he is. That's why it made me think this would be kind of the first introduction to his place, because you have an establishing shot, then Lance's inside of his place, then he introduces this guy, and then so it seemed like this scene would be like the Lance part would be before that stuff. This is Van Damme's buddy wanting the money, not knowing what he's getting himself into. And his death scene is a lot more violent than the Workprint. If you watch the Workprint, his death scene, he just like pop, 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 goes to the ground, and then he's still trying to make it out, and he just pop, 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 pop. Completely annihilated. Oh, I was talking about like the music, like the musical score. Grant Revelle does a good job, but usually in Workprints, usually a composer wants a movie as done as possible, or as close as it could get, to see what the pace of the film is, if the music's going to work with the pacing. So if it's something much more exciting, the action, or stunts, or scares, if it's another type of film, have the music complement it. Like, you don't want a sweet piece of music when someone's running from an explosion. And you don't want like a piece of music was just a group of people talking and by the fire or at dinner. So it's okay, I gotta have the music kind of flow with it. So before it, they usually, especially if you had test screening, we'll have temporary music. The temporary music used in the Workprint, there's Aliens, which is great because I love the story in Aliens. So that's another thing. When I first saw the Workprint back in the day, I'm like, oh my god, I'm listening to Aliens music, and these are like two of my favorite films, Hard Target and Aliens. I did Aliens music in my Hard Target movie. Like, yeah, yeah, just kid in the candy store. There's also a little bit of Rambo when Uncle Duvet shoots an arrow, it starts his fire, and his place blows up, and he's on horseback riding away. That's from First Blood. There's a bit of, quite a bit of Hunt for Red October music in the Workprint. I like the Hunt for Red October, I just haven't watched as much as other people, and they'd be like, what is this music? It's pretty good. It's the Hunt for Red October, that's why. I would say Aliens, the Hunt for Red October, and that's probably the two main scores used throughout a good chunk of it. There's other pieces of music as well. That doesn't always happen with work prints, but sometimes it does. Like, if you see the work print of Cliffhanger, there's a lot of music from Predator. And there's even like one piece of music from The Fly. Like in the work print of Cliffhanger, when Stallone is climbing up the wall, and you have that the mountain, I should say, and the camera pans back. This is after Stallone threw the briefcase out, and you have the avalanche, but Stallone's still alive, and he's got to climb up, and the camera pans back to show just how vast the area is. There's a piece of the Fly music. Da, 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 da. And then, like, when Stallone is dealing with John Lithgow in the helicopter, there's music from Predator, which I'm like, alright. It's cool to see and hear that. I just never thought I'd hear Predator music, Cliffhanger, or Aliens music in Hard Target. But hey, they picked some good music to use. Again, not in this cut, but in the Workprint, there was a bit where I did Van Damme and Yancy Butler's character, a little bit of lovey-dovey, which, I mean, I understand why. Not every movie needs a fucking love story. I like Daylight with Stallone. One of my issues is you didn't need a love story in that. There's no time for love, Dr. Jones. I know whenever there is love, but now's not the time for love, because we have to stay alive. But this is a time where action films were just, this was my cup of tea. This is the kind of action film I was into. And you look at each year from, 85, Rambo First Blood Part 2, and Commando, and then 86, you get films like Aliens, and you get into Cobra, and then 87. Yeah, this scene here with the camera, before this we saw the police officer walking towards, in the hallway, in slow motion, and there's just a little bit more of that John Woo flourish to it. And that's one of the complaints when this film got, when it came out. Oh, it's not like a John Woo film. Well, because they edited some of that John Woo flourish out. There's still enough, a lot of that technique to maybe go, wow, this is, like, the camera work and push-ins, and, like, there, to me, there is still energetic direction, but I saw even more of that in the full Workprint version. These little touches here and there. And it's like, this is one of those films, like, I'm enjoying the film, and then when it gets to, like, the hour mark, and his buddy's been killed, and the bad guy comes for Van Damme, gets on a motorcycle, that's when the movie takes off like a roller coaster. And that's where, if you don't want to do build-up, it still has bits of action. Van Damme kicking someone's ass, the bad guys showing what they can do. But when you do that build-up, you gotta deliver. And that's the thing with a lot of filmmakers today. They do a lot of build-up, but they don't deliver. Aliens is a lot of build-up. But then, let's ride! Ripley fucking shooting the shit out of aliens, shooting the shit out of the AIDS, grenade launchers, one-on-one fight with an alien queen. Boom, it delivers. Commando. There's a bit of, there's not as much of a build-up, which is cool. But Rambo First Blood Part 2. There's build up on the gets out of prison, on the mission, meets Toe. They find the prisoners, try to escape, but when it goes, it's boats, rocket launchers, arrows, C4 tipped explosive arrows, blown up bad guys left and right, helicopter, M60, just like this guy got shot right in the fucking eye. I have a friend who stuff like this kind of weirded him out. My friend Effrey said, nowadays he's not sure on looking through peepholes because of stuff like this. Because he thinks if he sees a peephole, he's going to see someone go this. And it's like, what? I'm like, really? It's like, yeah, it's New York. It's like, this is New Orleans, but I get what I mean. He has a lot of bad people in New York. He's got Chuds, he's got Joe Spinell, Frank, the... I don't think his name was... I forget the character's name. The maniac that fucked up his date. Jason, because he took Manhattan. He has a lot of people there. So he's got to be careful in New York. So, I remember one of the great times was the way I first found out about the Workprint. I think I was on some kind of website and they were like selling like DVD-Rs. I went, okay, wait, what the hell is this? Hard-tarted Workprint. Okay. And then I bought it. I got like a DVD-R and a white paper sleeve. God, I can't remember. This was way back when. Way back when. I don't know if it was like 2009 or 2010. It was a long time ago. And then at one point that was uploaded on YouTube in parts. This is back when we only had 10, 15-minute parts you could upload to YouTube. And so it was like, here's one 15-minute part. It was 10 minutes up to 11 minutes, and then it got to 15 minutes until eventually they said, oh, it's unlimited. But it was uploaded in parts, and my friend Avery had never seen it. I was showing him this, and he was like, what? Like, he didn't know. It's like, yeah, that's what happened there, this what happened there, this what happened there. It was just the coolest stuff. The coolest stuff. And just... His excitement was infectious, because he's a big John Woo fan, he's a big Van Damme fan, and seeing this, it's like, wow, oh, what the hell? So it was very infectious. But, yeah, they just, with films like this, I was going with like 86, Aliens and Cobra, and 87, yeah. Think about 1987. This is what I'm talking about with nowadays, where they do so many fucking requels, and so many fucking superhero movies, and so many fucking remakes, reboots. Think of 1987. That created Predator, Lethal Weapon, and RoboCop. Not a remake, not a reboot, not a sequel. Original, Predator, RoboCop, Lethal Weapon. In one fucking year. They don't do that nowadays. They don't do those kind of action films nowadays. Even sequels to those films, they don't do it like it is nowadays. It shows, I think filmmakers can't and don't know how to do it. I really do. I don't think they know how to do it. They don't know about blood squibs. I've had people ask me, what the hell is a blood squib? They only know CGI. Well, if we do this, it has to be direct-to-video or VOD, and then it's a much cheaper budget, so you use crappy cameras or crappy filters or CGI enhancements on blood. Even if they do practical, they do CGI enhancements. I like this guy's such a newbie, he's not on safety. I mean, he had the gun still on safety. And nice location here with the cemetery with this poor guy. Now, in the Workprint, this is a little bit extended. Like, when he shoots the guy, you see a bit more blood squibs, which we're not there yet. Let me wait on that. what I was saying before. And yeah, I like this POV camera work. It gives it. See, I appreciate that more than fucking shitty cam. Yeah, it's like this new guy paid for the experience, so they're trying to let him do all the work. He's wounded, but Lance Henriksen just delivers in this role, just relishing being evil. And then one of the reasons he did this was to work with John Woo. Just such a great villain in this. Finish him. I don't think that line is in the Workprint though. God, why didn't you just go fishing? So that's how that was an additional dialogue they added. Does the Workprint? The thing about the, well, actually right here, here's a bit. In the Workprint, this is a bit more violent. You see a lot more bullet hits. Yeah, you see a bit more sustained bullet hits on there. Same with when Lance shoots him with his, I forget the name of that gun. You see a bit more of like smoke coming out and just more violent when he shoots with his gun here. See, there's a bit more of an up close shot and slow motion, so a little bit more impact to the scene. Again, the MPA were so stupid. I don't know why the fuck they picked on movies like this. Again, it just shows how fucking hypocritical they are. Completely hypocritical. Because nowadays, this would get an R rating perfectly fine. It's like, well, what has changed now? And what's sad about this is true. A lot of these people would just ignore this homeless guy. Because a lot of people just ignore the homeless and, get away from me. That's a common thing. People are like, why don't he get help? Go onto a regular city street and you'll see people ignoring the homeless. Because they just want to go about their day. It's a sad truth. But it's truth. And you feel just so bad. Now this is Ted Raimi, Sam Raimi's brother. Hey, I ain't got no change. I ain't got no change, man. Now Ted Raimi would be in... He was in the Henrietta suit in Evil Dead 2 at the end of the film. He was in Hercules and mainly Xena, the TV show Xena, Warrior Princess. And a lot of other stuff too. And like I said, in the Workprint, this is a much more violent death. Like you see him get hit. That was a lot longer. And then he actually gets back up again like, no, I still want to fight. And then, like, he gets completely annihilated. See, it's like it's after this where the movie really gets into the next gear. But I mean, you'll just action films of that ilk. You know, the 90s, you had I Come in Peace with Dolph Lundgren, Showdown Low Tokyo, like all these fucking films that you just never fucking get to see again. Well, I shouldn't say never, but just considered passe, it's considered, oh, it's cheesy, it's corny. It's funny when they say unrealistic when they look at how many superhero movies are around. But it's like these are heroes. I mean, it's over the top, but there's still limitations and, some blood, sweat, and tears during all of it. Not just in the making of it, but see. Trying to think. Oh yeah, John Woo. After this, he would do Broken Arrow, which I love Broken Arrow. And that was kind of like, okay, maybe people thought I was too much of a John Woo technician on this. Broken Arrow was, okay, I'm going to show people I can make a Hollywood movie. And I think he did a fantastic job. I love Broken Arrow. And then Face Off was like the movie that, in America, put him on the map, which I don't get. I never understood it. I don't hate Face Off. I think it has some good action scenes, but Nick Cage and John Travolta, they're very hammy, especially Nick Cage, very over the top, and I don't know, just I think it's too long of a film. I think to be cut down. I much prefer this than Broken Arrow over Face Off. I do. Mission Impossible 2. I don't know what all the issues behind Mission Impossible 2 were. I think Fabio, I think he knows a bit more. I think he did a stream. I think he was I forget what he said because I'm an idiot. But I don't know if there was like Tom Cruise wanted something in disagreement with John Woo, or he wanted to hurt my feelings. This is not bloodier in the Workprint, which it didn't need to be. You did all you need here. Boom. And just the reaction by Arnold Vosloo. That's what I mean by a villain that just loves his job. Like, he laughs about it. And then that slow-mo of the shotgun, the shell coming out. That's really cool style. And like I said, this is when the movie really takes off. Because you get a big set piece with the death of the cop and the motorcycle, and then they're on the hunt, and then they get Uncle Duvet and kick all the bad guys' ass, and that Mardi Gras kind of facility. And yeah, I'm not sure if it's in this cut, but in the Workprint, the gunshots are a little bit bloodier. Yeah, get the fuck out of there, Van Damme. That's me. I like the staging of this. And John Woo knows how to handle slow motion well, using the right circumstances, the right staging, the right angles, so it's not confusing. You get the geography. It accentuates the action. Yeah, in the Workprint, when he got shot in the shoulder, you see in the back, it coming out of the back. The bullet coming out of the bat. It was a bit bloodier in the Workprint, so that's cut out, even in this extended cut. And even here in the Workprint, there's a bit where Van Damme's on a motorcycle, and there's like a car, and Van Damme's shooting at the car, and the car flips over and explodes. Not in this cut. It's only in the Workprint. Why? I don't know. This is where Van Damme's like pissed. Fuck you guys. Pa, 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 pa. Fuck you. And you're like, get him, Van Damme, because you built up how awful these guys are, and you just want them to get their just desserts. Yeah, I think in the Workprint you saw a bit more bullets hit that guy on the motorcycle as well, so that's a little bit extending the Workprint. I think around this is where you had a little bit of Hunt for Red October music in the Workprint. Here you get the fuck you kick. Fuck you. I always love that. Like, yeah. How many times do you see a guy just kick a motherfucker off a motorcycle like that? Oh, you. Like, fuck yeah. And he has such a cool outfit. He's got the blue jeans, got the blue shirt, got the mullet. And yeah, I wish that I could get like an action figure of it. Either with this outfit, or probably more so the tank top with the white, like the shotgun. Like the tank top, shotgun, either like this, or I could never find it. I think someone like did it themselves, but it's not available for sale anywhere. Idea whether a figure or a statue or something, man. I wish. grab the bar. Like, come on, this is badass, you know? Get the machine gun, bah, 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 bah. And this wide shots, beautiful wide shots. Like, that's real people doing that, the stunt people. Yeah, the actors are not going to be put in danger, of course, but the stunt people, like that guy rolling off a motorcycle, it's not that fucking easy. And the camera following the motorcycle, the explosion in front of 2 people on a motorcycle, going through actual fire. Yeah, fuck you. Now again, around this time, I don't know why this was cut out. It would have happened before this. You saw that there was another truck. Van Damme had a machine gun, shoot at a truck, and the truck flips over and blows up after being shot up. Why that was cut out of any version except the Workprint, I have no idea. Also in the Workprint, what was cut out is there is a side shot of the motorcycle and the bullets going to the gas tank. So you saw how this gas tank is leaking. It was a really cool looking shot where the camera's like right by a motorcycle and they both pass by each other and you see the bullet hits the side. Why that was cut out, I don't know. Now this stunt is cool. I don't like him standing like he's surfing, but this right here with his hand on it. See, it's when he's standing like this that's too far. And so when I did my fan cut, I cut that a little bit out. I kept like him on it. And then this is a beautiful stunt. You go on top, you roll back, and then you're like, bah, bah. And then that pushing of the camera, no, the pull out, bah, bah, bah. It's like, yeah. There you go. And it's like you, the audience, feel the same way. Running away from explosions. There you go. That's Van Damme in the actual shot. That's what works with the slow motion. You see this explosion right behind Van Damme in the same shot. There you go. Nice maneuvering. Steep that. And yeah, I forget what gun Lance has. But single shot. And fucking powerful. Of course, we gotta get onto the train, and it'll be ladies first. What? Here we go. Whee. And yes, it's time for one more hunt. But remember, don't hunt what you can't kill. I always liked this poster, and I always loved that tagline. I always thought that worked very well for the proceedings. There's a little bit in the Workprint that wasn't needed. To be fair, or did they put it back in here, or is it just him looking at the footprints? Yeah, like he saw over there. He like visualized them running away. Then he looked at the footprints, and yeah, you didn't need that. It works fine here. They just looked at the footprints. So that's what I mean. Like, not every single thing in the Workprint is mesmerizing, but good chunk of it. Now this guy who's got this like crazy shirt on with red and blue, like it's white but a little bit of red. He was a guy who smoked a cigarette before. He's a guy later on Van Damme shoots the shit out of and goes, sorry about the shirt. That is Sven Thorsen. Sven Thorsen worked with Arnold, one of Arnold Schwarzenegger's buddies. He's a security guard and the running man Guess I gotta go score some steroids. He was also the mall security guard, LaFours and Mallrats. He's one of the men with Lance Henriksen here. Of course, we're going to get to the scene with Van Damme and the the fucking snake. Which Van Damme mentions that was a note from the studio. Like, he did an interview for when Expendables 2 came out, and someone was asking him about Hard Target, and he said that was a guy in the studio had that idea. And it's like, what? Come on, what? So he's willing to answer a question about Hard Target. I don't know why. It'd be nice if someone asked him about it. But no, I mean, that and Time Cop, he doesn't really talk about a lot. I mean, yeah, it's over the top, but it's fun. Knocking it the fuck out. Pulls out the Rattler. Leave a present for my friends. So a little trap here. But yeah, afterwards, like John Woo, like I said, did Broken Arrow, Face Off, Mission Impossible 2, Paycheck. I like Paycheck with Ben Affleck. I like the story, the concept of it. There's another film he did, and it was so bad I forgot what the hell it was called. It's like the last, or one of the last films he did. It was just fucking awful. To the point I don't remember a damn thing about it. Other than I know it existed, because I know I reviewed it. You'll die quieter. And the sound, yeah, there it goes. You'll die quieter. And pick up the pace. Will you be so kind? And that's another great thing about Lance Henriksen's villain is that he just don't give a fuck. And it's like later on where it's like, you are a fucking buffalo. Well, move, will y'all move. Man, they're all fucking brain dead. I rest in peace Wilford Brimley, who was in Cocoon. I think those Ewoks movies back in the day. Or John Carpenter's The Thing. A lot of people don't like Uncle Duvet. I do. I think he's a lot of fun. He's a lovable character. And there's a bit in the Workprint that's not in this, which I actually enjoyed. In the Workprint, the music playing here is actually music from Dragging the Bruce Lee Story. Da, 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 da. And there's actually like a little thing they do, Alouette, Alouette, Alouette. Like a little celebration of seeing each other again. And that was cut out. Yeah, see, when they cut the Yancy Butler, they cut all that out. But I like that bit. They gave a little bit more, care between the two. But I think Wilford Brimley's a lot of fun. He has some good lines. I know. I can smell them. Nope, but Gatorade it. I still got your shotgun. I tell you, I've seen this film a lot, so it's like as the scene's coming up, I can remember the line. Repetition. And when he gets the shotgun, I love like the reverence John Woo gives to it. Because it's going to be the gun that's going to help him out a lot during our finale. The slow motion, him blowing the dust away in a little bit. And again, in the Workprint, when this happens, you then start seeing images of what the bad guys have done and the people he's hurt. The bad guys have hurt, like her father, his friend. The images of the bad guys, as if this is going to be the weapon that's going to take care of business for them. Both. And it's also crazy, like, critics, like, some of the critics, I don't know, critics are critics. I just think about some of the films critics give a fucking pass to, but then they talk shit about, you know, this movie. But you gotta be fucking kidding me, man. You gotta give me a fucking break. I guess in the original idea, it wasn't supposed to be horseback. It was supposed to be kind of what they used in Face Off at the end of that movie with boats. Although maybe it would be, I forget, like maybe those kind of, I forget what boats. Chuck Norris used it at the beginning of Invasion USA. The boat with the big fan behind, I forget the name of it. But maybe they would have been using that, or maybe just would have been a regular boat. I don't know the details. But hey, either way, I thought it worked for what it needed to do. There we got Uncle Duvet's trap that he's going to set apart for these sons of bitches. Some bitches. As you don't take care of business. I think, does he say like, but do not spill, till the grass. Yeah, that's Sven Thorsen. His voice is definitely dubbed, because that's not how Sven Thorsen sounds. Because I've seen him, he was the villain in Abraxas. That's not how Sven Thorsen sounds. Nice shot. Barely missing the arrow. And in the Workprint, this is where you get a little bit of the First Blood music playing. Dun, 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 dun. I did good work on the stunt people. It's not easy just, hey, let me get myself on fucking fire while the stuff is blowing up beside me. Get the fuck down. This is a hell of an explosion. And you see, like, it's the real people in frame, so it's not a model shot. They really blew the fuck out of this giant place. And that's real fucking debris. And, you know, triumphant bit of Wilford Brimley. You are a fucking buffalo. Just these. Just love Lance Henriksen. Loved him in the Millennium TV show. I wish that was on Blu-ray. It deserves a Blu-ray release. Nowadays, sadly, he doesn't really get a lot of good parts. He just kind of thrown about in random bad direct-to-video movies. He like just trips this guy just because. Move! Y'all fucking move! 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 just said they're fucking brain dead. It just such a fun villain that just evil but interesting. That's because you don't have actors like that nowadays. Like, what actors do you have that's like a Lance Henriksen, or even like a Brad Dourif, or like Clancy Brown, Michael Ironside? You don't have characters like Clarence Boddicker, those type of villains. You don't have that. I think either they try and they're very bland and generic, or they gotta have some sad story, sob story, bad story. Oh, my ass bleeds for you. Like, come on now, man. Let me see if I can find some trivia for the film. If I can. Oh shit. It's like, get the fuck out of my face, guys. Don't even get me started on Hard Target 2. I reviewed the film. It's a piece of fucking shit. Fuck Hard Target 2. See, this here's John Woo got along with Van Damme during filming and raised the amount of action in the film as he knew the actor was up for it. Which is pretty cool. Woo was contractually obligated to release an R rating. It was judged too violent and intense for an R rating. He re-edited the film 6 times for the MPAA, as they never indicated what specific scenes they found objectionable. During this editing period, Van Damme commissioned his own edit of the film. Van Damme's version exercises whole characters to insert more scenes of close-up of his character. Yeah, came out August 1993. It made 32.6 million in the US, 74 million worldwide. Then there is a Blu-ray from Tino Lorber. Maybe one day I'll pick it up just for the collection, because I'm just a fan of it. Fucking 58% Rotten Tomatoes. Give me a break. Sorry, now I'm just waiting because my favorite scene is coming up. Hey, pigeon. Scenes like this is what made me fall in love with this movie even more so. Look at this. Gas tank, shoot up, shotgun, just blow up a gas tank in front of a motherfucker's face, goes out the goddamn window with an explosion, body on fire, and in the Workprint you see a little bit more of that body on fire, and then cuts the shotgun. I'm like, yep, this is my kind of movie. This is my kind of fucking film. That's just absolutely badass, man. Like, how can you get more badass than that? Come on now. That's fucking awesome, man. That's fucking awesome. John Woo stated that Van Damme had a pretty big ego, but he's still professional and always tries to do a good job. Again, like slow motion, dodging, explode. I mean, just this is what I want in an action finale. To give me what I want, to give that satisfaction, to give that fuck yeah mentality to it. Lance Henriksen's pistol is a Thompson Center Contender. Single-shot pistol featuring interchangeable barrels of different calibers. Oh yeah, Chuck also worked on a script for Virus, that movie with Jamie Lee Curtis. That's right. Forgot about that. Well, maybe his script wasn't the problem. It was the way it was made is the problem. But yeah, there was a sequel with Scott Adkins around 2015, 2016 that just useless bullshit. I love this whole setting with the Mardi Gras decorations, and I think that's such a unique location. Plus, a lot of stuff that could blow up and material to be used for cover. 6.2 on IMDb. Cool. Now, apparently, this Lance Henriksen's Cone on Fire was not supposed to go the way this went. For what I understand, this was not exactly how it was planned. But I mean, what more could be? I mean, I'm watches. I'm just entranced like a little kid. I'm little kid again. Your hero dodging explosions, and it's done for real, in camera. Real stunt people risking their health, risking their life. I appreciate that. Real fire, real explosions, real squibs to showcase that when you shoot someone, something does happen. It's not fucking bang, you fall over. No, there's some gruesomeness to it. But it's also that type of satisfaction as well. Yeah, elbow that motherfucker. I'm gonna shoot this guy. Ba 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 ba. Just shot to fucking shit. And then a idea of a beautiful, one of his best 360 hurricane kicks. Literally one of his best 360 hurricane kicks. Love that. Now, this was not in the theatrical coming up. And the original theatrical, it cut there. But this guy getting up and going, give a rest, pal. This was added for the international version. And I'm killing these two people. That's in the Workprint. It's in this cut. But if you watch the original, I guess if you find the DVD of Hard Target, that would not be in there. And some of this violent stuff would not be in the third act here at the original DVD. But it's nice that even Wilford Burnley gets in on the action. And it makes each bit count. Right in the neck. There you go. I think in the original theatrical you saw less of that arrow in the neck. So it's nice that some of this was added back into this, but not every single thing. Even within this section, there's stuff that's only in the Workprint. I'll try to remember as we go along. Try to. You idiot. Don't say that to a lady who's got a gun right behind her, doofus. You deserve to die for your stupidity. Fucking brain dead. That guy. Give me this gun! Okay then. Fine. We got Van Damme flipping. Anytime the Van Damme character flips, that's not in the original theatrical. Swinging, bullet hits. You get to see a little bit more of the bullet hits compared to the original theatrical cut. One of my favorite shots here too. Love that. Just barely missing the way that's done. Like, ooh, shit. Now in the Workprint, when Van Damme gets his gun, you hear Aliens, music from the movie Aliens. Now, there's always a flub here where sometimes this guy has the arrow in his arm and sometimes it doesn't. Like, he has the arrow sticking out of his arm, but then there's certain shots, like when Van Damme is back to the camera and he's shooting, that arrow's not in the arm. So sometimes, if you watch the arrow in that guy's arm, sometimes it's not there, sometimes it is there. I don't know how that happened, how that fuck up happened. I love, like, that's the thing with all the Mardi Gras decorations. There's a lot of stuff to use as a shield. And of course, these just blow up everywhere. And people just get shot. I love the environment. I love, especially in the Workprint. Like, the Workprint, it's almost like a horror film. With the way it's lit, I mean. I think some of that was a bit extended in the Workprint as well, I believe. But I love that shot. That shoot the shit out of this guy. Boom. Now, there's a shot missing there that was in the Workprint. In the Workprint, he shot a second person, I believe, on the staircase. Like, especially their legs. And then he went and dodged Arnold Vosloo's. You've been looking in the wrong places. Again, and in the Workprint, Van Damme's voice seems a bit more natural. You've been looking in the wrong places. I love this bit here. Boom. Just the two of them going back and forth. Sort of this mano a mano. And you gotta shoot more bad guys coming up. Boom, boom. Just empty it in this motherfucker. And yes, of course, in the Workprint, you saw more of him shooting the other guy. That's why you see a guy go through that glass. And then he shot this other guy. Great explosion. The person flying through that window. So yeah, again, even in the Workprint, there's stuff extended. Like, even that there's a few more shots of Van Damme shooting the guy, like different angles. One of the best stunts in the movie. Like, you're jumping through a window as it blows up behind you, and the propulsion of it pushes and slides the character to shoot the shit out of this guy. Just to completely obliterate Arnold Vosloo's character. Again, just so much action. I'm just like, yes, again, if you're going to do a build-up, you got to fucking deliver. You know, even the theatrical cut, it was delivering. But the Workprint, with all these little touches, little here, little there, little more angle, little bit more blood, little bit more, it even was even more like, ooh, shit. Now, of course, a big difference in the Workprint with Van Damme and Lance. Van Damme does the kick, and then he throws the grenade, and then Lance gets blown up. But I think when that Workprint was the test screening one. But I think the audiences saw that and said, well, we want Van Damme to beat up Lance Henriksen a bit more. We want the villain to suffer more. So then they went back, they filmed additional footage of Van Damme beating up, punching, kicking Lance with the board on fire, Van Damme grabbing it, and then that one-on-one hunting season is over. Drops the grenade in the pants. That's not in the Workprint, Sally. Again, it's in my fan cut, which I edited together. There you go, blow right the fuck back. Hey! And in the Workprint, this is extended too. There's a lot more Van Damme on the ground, rolling, shooting, dodging. Like, this action bit on the ground here is extended. It's more of him dodging, shooting, back and forth, and then Van Damme gets up. So there's action missing in this international cut that's in the Workprint. Van Damme rolling back. And Van Damme flipping like this is nowhere in the original theatrical cut. They cut all these flips, which I think looks cool. Now, I don't think it's Van Damme doing the flips. I don't think he's a flipper guy like that, but because I bought so much other stuff, I could buy the character doing it. And in the Workprint, I believe this speech of Lance is longer, which I like the speech. Talk about, I hunted here, I hunted there. I think it's a little bit extended in the Workprint, I believe. I could be wrong on that one. I believe it's a little bit longer. Maybe not. Maybe they're putting it in here. Maybe not. Maybe it's the same in the Workprint. Maybe it's the same, but like this flip is kept in, but all the other flips were cut out of the original theatrical. And I think in the original theatrical, you didn't see that shot to the shoulder from behind, but in this version, they added it into there. And it's also in the Workprint. Like I said, in the Workprint, is Van Damme does the super kick, then just tosses the grenade, and you don't have the extra bits coming up of him and Lance going back and forth. I guess I should mention over here, I guess if I don't screw it up. I put it on DVD-Rs, but I'm always willing to make a new one. And my friend Mike, he sent me the case, which was kind of this bit here. So he sent me this case, which was cool. And then some DVD-Rs. I think I have more than one, just in case, like a backup. But again, I pretty much took, mostly it's the Workprint version. And then in the Workprint version, I extended the screen a little bit more. I hid the time codes on the top and bottom, so you don't have to see time codes on it. And I added, once in a while I added bits of the theatrical, either because it's the exact same scene, but it looks better, or I added, when Lance is playing the piano, the theatrical, so it's not, you see actual animals being killed like in the Workprint. I added the extended ending that's in the theatrical that was in the Workprint. But it's mostly the Workprint, because I like the look of it. I like Van Damme's natural voice, but there's certain bits of the theatrical I added in there. I think I added like a different song. I like the song at the end, Born on the Bayou, but I added like Voodoo Child the newer version. I'm a voodoo child. Oh, I'm a voodoo child. I love this confrontation here, back and forth. And in the Workprint, there's another angle used during this that's never. There's a few more angles used during that kick that's not in this cut. And so yeah, when Lance lands and you have this flaming barrel, this is all additional footage. That's not in the Workprint. They filmed afterward. So all this stuff here with Lance with the board on fire. Again, this is not in the Workprint. They said we want Van Damme to hurt Lance a bit more, because they hate this villain and they want to see him suffer. And that's how you know Lance was doing a great job. And which is cool to see Van Damme do a few more martial arts moves and this badass moment, just grabbing it, and then you break it in half. I like this great, like the fire in between, boom, just breaking a board on fire in half. At this around the time, Lance was also in another great action film, Stone Cold, where Brian Bosworth, where he played the villain. Hunting season is over. Sayonara, pal. And of course, Lance's character being cocky, being so full of himself. Oh, I can just do this. But again, we can't have that stuff nowadays because we're too busy making 50 requels and 10 Star Wars and 100 superhero movies. Again, if they try, it's either too cheap, too shaky. It's filmmakers that don't know how to do it. You don't have filmmakers like John McTiernan, Rennie Harlan, John Woo, this new breed of filmmakers. No one knows any of that. No one knows how to handle it. No one knows jack squat about that. There's his little canteen. It's a catastrophe. Real bad. Born on the Bayou. And you like the theatrical, hour and 35 minutes. Well, this version, hour and 35 minutes. Arnold Vosloo, who would be Darkman in Darkman 2 and 3, and then play the villain, the Mummy, in The Mummy. Lance Henriksen, fantastic. Jean-Claude Van Damme. Ted Raimi, Sven Thorson, and Wilford Brimley's Duvet. But yeah, just still love this movie. I mean, this went by fast. I mean, I didn't feel any of the time. I'm surprised it's done already. So, yeah, I love this film to death. It's because it just, as a kid, that's the kind of stories I wanted to see. Good guys, bad guys, heroes and villains. And the hero being badass, the villains being evil but interesting, and a story. Simple doesn't automatically mean bad, and I can enjoy a complicated story, but sometimes simple can be the best way to go. And you sit back, you just enjoy the ride, and wonderful stunts and technicians, stuff done in camera, where you're not, oh, look at that CGI, look at that cartoon looking thing, look at that. My mind's not leaving the escapism because of all these things that add up to, like, oh, what the hell is that? What the hell is this? What the fuck? Zoltan as the makeup for Van Damme. Zoltan. Interesting. Zoltan. Sounds like a sci-fi villain. Is that the brother of Zardoz? Zoltan? John Schulter, security coordinator. Where is John Schulter now? Yeah, that's a. I know it's a random thought, but when I look at credits like this, it makes me go, what happened to Doreen Dixon, the post-production supervisor? Or, what happened to sound editor Lou Kleinman? Or Foley editor Mary R. Smith? I guess doing Foley edits on other stuff. I don't know. But yeah, classic film. Love it to this day. I don't know, maybe if people want to see my fan edit, I'm not an expert. I'm far, far from an expert. Maybe I'll put it down below in the info box. You just scroll down a bit if you want, or I'll forget. Born in Bayou, Creedence Clearwater Revival. Great movie. Love it to this day. CDs, cassettes. Back in the day when you had little cassettes you could listen to on your Walkman. Kurtzman, Nectarine Burger on like the blood squibs and the ear bit. Just they worked with Sam Raimi on other stuff, so they got KMB involved. Sadly, that was cut out because MPA are bullshit. But yeah, love the film this day. So, thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you guys later. Don't hunt what you can't kill. Later.